What's up, you guys? I hope you guys enjoy the churchy intro. We are here with two of our friends to the channel. We have the lovely Grace Report and the lovely and handsome Kempire. What's up, you guys?
How are you?
I'm great. How are y'all doing?
Hot.
Tired. It's a hot day. So we'll start out. We're going to get into the comments and everything, but we'll start out. We're reviewing last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, which to me, this show is becoming very, very polarizing. Like, I had a hard time watching last night's episode just because of the optics of everything. So we'll get into that later, but I just want to get your first reactions. And Grace, we'll start with you. What was your first reaction to last night's episode?
I felt sad after I watched the episode because it really felt like they were throwing things at the wall to see what sticks in regards to Chris. So they started with the DM thing with Ashley, then the DeJal thing. Then now at the end, Ashley kind of claims that some woman was flirting with Chris or something like that. It's just too much. And then they brought back up the Mia thing. And I was like, well, why are they hammering on this guy? It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. What about you, Kempire?
Because he didn't do anything. Based off of what Giselle said. She's saying that, oh, he left when you asked him to leave. Did he touch you? Did he say something? And she's like, no, but I felt uncomfortable, which is fine. But now you're making a bigger thing. And Ashley's coming with, oh, my friend said something. And I liked at the very beginning of this episode, we see Ashley and Candace hanging out. So after she was driving around and around and around and around and around, getting that news about the news that she leaked herself, allegedly, about their divorce, she was actually going to hang out with Candace.
I thought that was very strange. But it looks like, looking at the comments, I don't know if we're starting out on a petty note, but Princess Gabby said, can we just address the confusion that was Candace's hair at her lunch with Ashley? Middle part, side part, middle part, 3/4 of the way part, make it make sense.
She was like,
now, I did want to talk about the looks on this episode because I feel like there were some interesting looks. I like Candace's hair for the most part. It looks like she's uncomfortable with it because she keeps moving it around. But what did y'all think about the looks and the fashion that they showed us this episode?
Great question. I didn't notice. Yeah. Well, I liked Ashley's all white. Did you guys like that at the end when she had the hair slicked back and she had the white blazer? I thought that was a nice look.
Yeah. I think Robyn, who we always, well, I do, come at her a lot. I felt like she looked great. She looked great. I'm like, okay, I think she's really trying to step it up this season, fashion wise, storyline wise, getting involved. But you saw as soon as she went back to the Sprinter van, she was like, let me take these off.
Yeah. Her lashes, like, to me, it looked like her lashes were falling off. Like when she was talking to that attorney about the prenup, it was like her lashes were falling off.
I thought it was
Robyn to me. Yeah, she looked a mess to me. She
always looked, like rainbows or something like that.
I don't like her hair in that scene. Her hair in that scene, I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either. No.
All right, so let me get into my notes. I did make notes from this episode. Like I said, to me, I feel like this show is becoming very polarizing. And I've talked about colorism before on this show. And I don't even know if it's on purpose. Like, I don't know if it's intentional, the way they treat Wendy and how they're coming after Candace. I don't even know if it's intentional, but just the way it looks like, the Green Eyed Bandits and Ashley against like Wendy and Candace. And it's not a good look to me.
You know what, though, to that point, like Wendy and Candace do not even have each other's back as like brown skin girls, if that's what it is. It's like, okay, well, if they can stick together, why can't you guys stick together? You guys never really fully have each other's backs, and you are able to, and you just choose not to. You choose to, you know what I mean? Like claim that you're being ganged up against. But why is it possible to gang up against you guys? Because you're not united either.
Well, y'all know how I feel about that friendship. Because in this episode, she literally says, Wendy is my friend. She's like my real friend. And I was just like,
is she?
I don't get that vibe. Get that vibe. I get the vibe that you're friend for the show. You're not real friends. You're not hanging out outside the show. And if you do, it's very like, oh, we see each other at an event. I don't feel like it's a real friendship.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like Candace fawns over Ashley. That's one thing, and like we all know Ashley does not like her, but she fawns over her. I think she's posted her on social media as well or something like that. But you just don't see it with Wendy. So
But why? Why did? Because we do see that Candace, and that's where the episode starts with Candace inviting Ashley to her home. Now, after the history that her and Ashley have, and I know Kim Pye, you said you're wiping the slate clean, but in reality, they have a lot of history, and she invites her into her home, almost like inviting a snake into your home. And you see how it turned out. You see how it turned out. But what did y'all think about that scene with her, inviting Ashley into her home and feeding Ashley and gossiping with Ashley? What did y'all think about that scene?
Ooh, Campfire looks excited. Tell it all, Campfire. What's on your mind?
What I'm really excited about. The scene was cute. However, I was just the spanning of the house, and I was like, okay, Candace, you did a good job with this house. I thought she did the house looks great.
It does.
But I do like seeing Candace and Ashley get along, but then we fast forward to the end, and it's like, yeah, Candace, you can't trust this woman.
Yeah, she's
not going to afford you the same respect that she tried to afford you a couple of seasons ago when Michael, for the millionth time, was caught out there in the streets.
Exactly. Candace is not good at like discerning whether or not people like her. Like she does try to get close to these girls who very obviously do not like her. And then she pushes away people who care for her, like Karen, like Wendy. Like she needs to kind of like lean into those friendships. Those could be real friendships. Those could be beneficial friendships, but she'd rather chase after a Giselle or an Ashley or perhaps a Robyn or something like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I do see that. I want to thank Dr. Nikki, MPW, Proctor Walden, PhD. Okay. Thank you for joining the channel. Thank you. And then also there was a super chat from Trent. Let me find Trent. Oh, here. Let me see. I'm trying to click on it. I'm working on a Windows computer today, and I don't know how to use Windows. I'm like a Mac girl.
Me same. I was looking at Windows. Like, Windows what?
Oh my God, I can't show it. Okay. I'm going to figure out how to click on these particular comments. Because I definitely appreciate the super chats.
While she looks like that, I have a question for you, Campfire. What does it mean? Like, how do they tell if you've been sleeping in the same marital bed or not? Because that's one thing that Ashley mentions, and I just don't understand it. I feel like if someone wanted to screw someone else in the divorce, they could just say, yeah, we slept in the same bed like a couple of times.
But you know what? And it's so funny you bring that up. Very good point, because I thought the same things. Like, how do you prove that you're sleeping in separate rooms and beds and all of that, and not sneaking in when she gets a Michael Coochie craving? How do we know the difference? But then she brought up a really valid point. It doesn't really pertain to them when it comes to finances, but in real life, some people cannot afford to live separately if you decide to divorce. So I was just like, you know what? I get why they allow that to happen. But at the same time, these particular folks, I don't understand where she gets a coochie craving from Michael. I will never understand it. Her talking about, I love the fact that he can talk about aliens. She is a weirdo. Sorry.
It's daddy issues. She wanted to talk about aliens with her dad,
Yes, I was thinking the same thing when she was talking about Michael. I was like, okay, this is kind of like how you talk about your dad. Like you're impressed with your dad. My dad can do this. My dad can do that. That's the vibe it gave me. It gave me deep daddy issues.
Yeah.
But I want to thank Trent. Thank you, Trent. Trent is a longtime supporter of the Layla Lynn channel. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes. And then JL, who also supports us, because we started this, we call ourselves a dream team, but we started this panel last season, and JL has been supporting us since last season. And he said, Candace is a hypocrite, gossiping about Karen and Ray's marriage, and admitting to plotting with Giselle to take people down. But she wants sympathy for people talking about Chris. Hashtag hypocrite.
It's always good for reminding us about that part, because I always forget. I told you I came in the season trying to forget everything else, but no, those are valid points. Those are valid points.
Yeah,
1,000%. She was not smart to say that she's been in the room when Giselle has been scheming on other people. Like, then to get into Karen's marriage unprovoked. She's just not doing herself any favors sometimes.
Literally, right after Giselle brought this up to you, now you're talking about someone else's marriage.
Yeah. And I shared that previously. I don't like when people gossip about other people in order to form a bond with someone. Like, I don't like that type of that type of friendship forming when it's all about gossiping about somebody else. I don't like that at all.
Exactly.
But I want to thank Dr. Nikki. She said, I'm here because Ty's Hot Mess History. Ty's Hot Mess History said you have your outcomes listed. Now, what she's referring to is my class. If you go to majorkeyalerts.com or Business of Blogging with LaylaLynn.com, you'll see my class. I have a class on YouTube. And it was a joke we had on Ty's channel about, I list my outcomes. Like when you finish this class, you should understand this, and this. It's like 6 or 7 outcomes of what you should get with this class. And so that's what she's referring to. So thank you, girl.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that. Yes, take it. She said, I'm also going to take your course. Thank you. Make it make sense. What's up, Mims? Mims said nobody believes they ever slept in the same bed.
Hey, this is not Robyn and Ron. This is Ashley and Michael.
They slept in the same bed.
What about Robyn and Giselle? They definitely slept in the same bed.
You guys remember last season at that cabin or something? What was the joke?
Yeah. Yeah. You okay, Kim Pie? Listen.
What would we do if that ever really came to fruition? What would we do?
I would applaud because I would feel like you're living in your truth. I do feel like the relationship between Robyn and Giselle is more than a regular friendship. I do feel like it's I don't know. I just feel like it's something more than that. And so if they came out and said, you know what, I am attracted to her, I would applaud it.
It would be a first for the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been saying that. I do feel like all these franchises, like, okay, Miami had an LGBT couple, but who else? And Miami was like on Peacock, but
yeah.
Who else?
Aria Josie, wasn't that Bronwyn girl? She had a girlfriend or something.
And a husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like a lot of these franchises, especially Atlanta, not necessarily Potomac, but Atlanta does a lot of like LGBT shaming, but then they don't have like characters, from that community. And so I feel like, why not, throw something in there, which is my opinion. But after Ashley invites the snake into her home.
Damn,
and she came empty-handed, which I hate. I think it's so tacky to go to someone's home for dinner or whatever and not at least bring a bottle of wine. Like, come on now.
Yeah. But this is Ashley. Ashley's
we can say a lot. We can say a lot about Ashley and her manners.
Yeah, she's a taker. But they showed Mia having a dinner. It looked like she was on her patio or something, but she was having a dinner with her family. And she revealed that she actually, I don't know if this was a surprise to you guys, but she revealed that when she met G, he was married, happily married. And she was intimate with him in public on a beach in Miami while he was still married. Was that a shocker? Was that a surprise? No.
I'm surprised he admitted it on camera.
With a smile, like it was something to be proud of. Like they just are both of such shady, poor moral character, no integrity, and they just don't realize it or understand it. And I don't know, that's what makes Mia so creepy to me. She's someone who's very willing to lie, cheat, and steal because she doesn't know any better. There's some people who know they're doing something wrong, but she, like, I guess based on her upbringing or something, she doesn't know any better. So to her, it's normal. And I think that's why she was so proud and she thought it was cute, but like, it's creepy. People like that are really creepy to me.
Which also makes me wonder about the whole businesses. In that conversation, they're talking about, launching the 25th joint chiropractic business. And now we know that she's been pushed out. Her and G have been pushed out of the business. It makes me wonder, like, what really was happening.
Yeah. And I hope they explore that because I was curious too, about the brothers and the whole family business situation. I think that would be interesting to know. And I hope they explore that on the show. But I'm not sure that they will.
Probably not till the next season. Because remember, she
After
the end.
Yeah. But I still want to see. I'll wait. I want to see what happens.
You want her to come back.
Because you know what? I like how Mia is actually integrated into G's businesses and his family, even though, their relationship might be questionable. I feel like she is integrated into his family and his business where Ashley is not. And they're both, to me, in similar situations where they marry older guys. It looks like they married for money. But I feel like with Ashley, it kind of backfired because I don't feel like she's actually integrated into his life. And I don't know if you guys, did you notice when Ashley, it was like a couple episodes ago, she was having dinner with her family, like Uncle Lump and his wife. And she was like, imagine when I get my house, I can have you guys over for dinner.
I didn't catch that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think Layla would catch that. Wait a second.
Yeah, I caught it. I was like, you can't invite your family over for dinner? You know what
That
I
reminds
mean?
me of
Or maybe,
Portia with Cordell.
or maybe they don't want to
Yeah.
because Michael lives there.
I don't know.
Because
I don't
obviously
know.
Uncle Lump does not like Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he doesn't. But
he got a house. He got her out from under that bridge. So I think she would at least want to have some dinner with that man, no?
we got to bring up the bridge. Shout out to Zoe. Zoe said it would have been to see Candace, Karen, Monique, Wendy. You got Karen on both sides, girl. She said versus Karen, Giselle, Sharice, and Robyn, and Mia flip-flopping. She wants to be with Giselle. Yeah, that would be interesting. I guess you're saying Karen would play the middle, which I do notice that she does do. She does play the middle a lot.
She's twerking on the fence. She's a twerk like me. She's trying to, you know.
But that doesn't always work. I feel like as an adult, sometimes like it doesn't always work. Like you have to like, you know, state how you feel, you know. Ties, Hot Mess History said, right, what Giselle is doing to Candace is wrong, but I don't feel sorry for Candace because she has participated in Giselle's shenanigans too. And I guess that's what she hinted at when she said, I've heard Giselle make up, you know, plots on people.
Yeah, I've been in the room while she was scheming. What does that say? You know, did you stop her? No. Well, this is what happens.
Until it's you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was Monique's point a couple seasons ago. Like you didn't stop her. Like you listened, but you didn't stop her. So said Candace wanted to be friends with Giselle. She does. She does. And I don't like that about this show. It's like Giselle and Robyn are kind of like, you know, centered on this show. And everybody seems to want to get in with them in order to stay on the show. And I don't like that. I really don't like that.
But at the end of the day, whose fault is that, though? I would blame that on producers. Producers set up that whole dynamic. They could, you know, make it clear, like, no, they have no jurisdiction over your job.
Yeah.
Please feel free to state your mind and your opinion. But we all know, despite what Andy would like us to believe, they do hold some weight. They don't decide on who comes and who goes, but they will be like, oh, well, I'm an important part of the show. I want Robyn to be here. I think that's the only reason why we still have Robyn there is because of the friendship she has with Giselle.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems like they want her out, and that's why she's got that fire under her butt this season. So hopefully they follow through and at least demote her or something.
At least for her aggressiveness. And I guess we'll get into that in a second. But you know, remember they demoted Portia after what she did to Kenya? At least Robyn, it's been like 3 people that she's attacked at this point. So I do agree she does need to be demoted. JL said, I love Mia, but I'm confused. Didn't she say they met in the strip club?
Yeah. JL's brain?
Wow.
Right?
That is
she's
true.
a liar, though. And she's an admitted liar. She's an admitted liar. So I just don't know what's true, but I do believe that she was the other woman. I do believe that.
Oh, yeah.
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 1,000%.
That's
what makes her so creepy. You don't know what's fact and what's fiction. She doesn't know what's fact and what's fiction. You know, like.
Yeah. She gets confused. So we have the scene with Giselle and her daughters at the nail salon or whatever. She has her ankles out. She's getting her pedicure and stuff.
Not her ankles out.
Like she has no shame. She has her ankles out, and they're planning for the girls the twins' sweet 16 birthday party, and they're talking about how Giselle wants to give a speech, and then you know they're imitating that their father Jamal is also going to give a speech. So do you guys, being that Jamal Bryant, he's such a busy man, and like when they had the photo shoot, he wasn't able to show up for the photo shoot. But do you guys feel confident that he will show up? I'm sure, of course, you feel confident that he will show up.
Yeah,
for their 16th.
If it's not being filmed, because he already said that he wasn't going to be
Oh, okay.
filming again. So
Yeah.
maybe he will show up just because it's his daughters.
Hmm.
But he said that he was not going to be on the show anymore.
Right, right after that
Mhm.
reunion, yeah. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame Chris. I don't blame like most of these men the way they've treated them on this show. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't
Mhm.
blame them for that. So then we have Robyn. She visits the attorney, and she talks about a prenup. And basically, she wants her her
Mhm.
businesses to be off limits. If they were, if God forbid they were to divorce, she doesn't want the money that she's earned from her businesses to be in play if her and Juan were to get divorced. What do y'all think about that? Considering their past and the money, like Juan's business is basketball.
Mhm.
And considering their past and her losing Juan's money, what do y'all think about that?
Hmm.
The
I think
infidelity. I could see why she'd want to protect herself after the infidelity thing. And we still cannot forget the hot mic moment when he basically said it was a charade for a storyline and he wanted real love. So I could see why she wanted a prenup. Yeah.
I think it's a storyline. I think
Mhm.
I think this is all we're doing is to play out this. Oh, it's a storyline. I do believe there's going to be a prenup if they ever do walk down the aisle,
Mhm.
but I I think it's just her having a moment. She couldn't even make that lawyer moment interesting enough. It was just sort of
Mhm.
like, all right, we're gonna sit through this one because this is
Ah,
her story for the season. She's
yeah.
preparing herself for. We still didn't get a wedding. Even Andy Cohen shaded her about this on Watch What Happens Live last week, saying that we didn't film a wedding this season, so when are you guys getting married?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't believe they're going to get married. The only thing interesting to me about that scene was like Robin's missing lashes, like coming on camera with like half her lashes falling off. Like I can't believe she comes on camera the way she does. Like it's really a surprise to me sometimes. So that was interesting to me, and the infidelity clause was also interesting. But
Mhm.
it is one.
Do you
Uh,
guys believe in prenups, y'all? I actually was so curious. I was like, do you believe in prenups? And would you get an infidelity clause?
yes, yes, and
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
All of the above. Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, the infidelity clause, I mean, I would put it in there, but if I'm marrying this person, I don't think I would necessarily need it. However, I'm
Mhm.
going to put it in there just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case, because I believe in prenups. Because marriage is a legal situation. Things happen. People outgrow each other. Let's figure this out while we're in a good space, so that when we're not
Mhm.
in a good space, we already figured it out. Don't try and become new on me. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
I
with you.
believe in it too. Sadly, every marriage doesn't last a lifetime. Every marriage probably shouldn't last a lifetime. Things happen, so I do believe in prenups too. I just feel like Robin, making those demands when she's lost all of Juan's money. I don't know. It's a bit much to me, but I guess maybe she's paid it back. Thank you, Tamara or Tamara. She said producers this season seem like the stars of the show with the receipts. Yes, come on, receipts. I
yeah.
love that. So, you guys, we can fast forward to the scene. They went to the winery. They were in Bluemont,
What?
Virginia, at a winery.
Oh,
And you guys know they have a history with wineries, you know?
The wig. Yeah.
Right, right. And so in
Um,
that scene, you see them, it was like a burn session. But you know what? Let me talk about this. Regarding the burn session, first of all, what's y'all's opinion on a burn session? I haven't heard of that since like high school.
I've
But what
never
do
even
you
heard it in my life.
It's in the movie Mean Girls.
Oh, see, that was never like my favorite. Like I've seen it, but I'm like, I probably
Yeah.
ignored that part. And I was like, what? I've never heard of it. I don't know. Is it good therapy? And when you said Mean Girls, that's high school too. So like for them to do
Yeah.
this, these are
Mhm.
grown women, but the
Mhm.
characters are always trying to do some sort of game to kind of. That says to me that your cast is not that interesting as a cast. If we have to always constantly come up with games that they need to participate in, that means that they're naturally not good for TV. But I
Mm.
think that these ladies are. I just feel like some of the moments are becoming a little too pre-produced.
Yeah, it felt very forced. Just like confront things head on. Let's all come together and like let's confront things head on. I felt like that would have been a lot more effective. But I do have to say, Wendy looked so good. She looked gorgeous at that burn. I just could not stop staring at her makeup, her hair. She looked so good.
She did. She did. I thought so too. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, she is really pretty. But then I had watched a marathon of last season, and they were acting like she did all this stuff to her face. But I was looking at last season before she got the fillers or whatever, and she looked pretty then too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's a gorgeous woman. And I was to me, it did feel overly produced. Like doing a burn session with grown women did feel overly produced. And they also did a flashback to some scene where it's Wendy, Mia, Ashley, and Jacqueline.
Yes.
It looked like a flashback to high school when they're talking to Wendy and they're saying, "Oh, you make these faces, you make these eyes." Like, I thought that was so strange for adult women to be having that type of conversation. And that's what I was saying about the optics when it looks like all these light-skinned women are ganging up on a dark-skinned woman. Even though I don't know if it's on purpose, the optics of it make me like, I feel like that's why I feel like the show is polarizing because of the optics.
Do you guys think they have a point? Is she condescending? Does she look at people weird? I was kind of wondering myself.
I mean, in the first season with Dr. Wendy, I think she did come across that way. Second season, I would have to kind of go back and think about that. I just thought that was interesting that they were bringing this up to her, like, "Oh, you're being kind of." I was like, has she really been that bad? But maybe they're seeing something that we don't see in the edit. But I'm just like,
yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. I was wondering if there's something they're not showing on the show, because I was like, I don't see where she's any different from any of the other ladies on the show. Like, they're all shady, you know, and that's why they're on the show. You know what I mean? So
make
I
like
didn't
a whole conversation about it, to bring it up. Oh, girl, we need to have a conversation.
Yes.
They're very condescending.
I feel like
I just didn't see like.
It just did not make any sense. Like when they skip by Giselle, who a couple of like weeks ago goes up to Mia, who talks about how she may or may not have cancer, and goes, "Oh, so is this what cancer, no cancer looks like?" When it came to Katie and she was questioning her race and stuff, she's like, "Are we black or are we white today?" Like, she's very condescending, Giselle, but
yeah,
let's go after Wendy, I guess.
But why? That's the question. And I feel like that's what's polarizing. Why Wendy? Why Wendy? And that also makes me feel like they need to recast this show. I feel like the show, the Housewives franchise originally was supposed to show like women like family or friends. Like the connection between them was supposed to be family or friends. And I don't feel like they're friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you see Giselle and Robyn are friends. Giselle and Karen have like a frenemy type of thing going on, which I think is good for TV. But I don't see like true friendships on the show. And I think that's what kind of like throws it off.
Yeah. I mean, and you're right. That's how the show began. And I think that's why it's lost its luster, is because a lot of these friendships are becoming very pre-produced, unless there becomes a natural, real friendship, which we've seen like on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You see these ladies actually hanging out with each other outside of the show. I don't know if that's happening with the ladies of Potomac. I think what's saving Potomac a little bit is there is some of this history that still connects all of them. You know, like Giselle and Karen and Robyn. There's still that history that kind of connects them. So I think that's why the audience is still like, oh, this is okay. This is sort of like back to what we originally liked about Real Housewives, but they're slowly losing it because they're losing cast members.
Right. Yeah. But do you feel like we're getting honesty on this show? Because I feel like on this episode, like there was a scene where they're picking tulips, like it's freezing cold and they're picking tulips, and they get into the conversation where Wendy, you know, she's the originator of this burn session that she wants to do, and they're talking to Ashley, and Ashley mentions that, you know, Mike is ignoring her or whatever, and that he went to Vegas. He had a vasectomy like 2 days before he went to Vegas, and I want to say it was Karen asked her how she felt about that, and she said she didn't care. She could care less. But then in another scene on a different episode, she was really upset about him having a vasectomy.
That's why I was looking at Ashley like, what? What is happening? First of all, I don't know if anyone knows. Can you have sex right after you've had a vasectomy? I just want to know.
Good question.
I don't know. If y'all know, leave us a comment. Can you have
that would make sense for the Vegas
vasectomy? Ooh. Ooh, let me Google that real quick.
But I like the fact you brought up the hypocrisy of Ashley, because that's the first thing that came to mind when she was talking to Karen. For me, it's like, wait a second. Last week when you were talking to Candace about this whole situation, and you were talking to the other girls, you were very upset. You were very upset about this vasectomy. Like, that means no more having babies with Michael. And this was like, I could care less. Which one is it?
Yeah. Well, her real friends versus the people that she doesn't like, that she's only around, to pick up intel on to use against them. I think that's what the difference is, maybe. Yeah, she doesn't like Wendy, I don't think, for real, or Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not.
In the chat, no, doctors advise you not to.
Yeah, I just Googled it. They said you should wait a week until the wound heals up so no bacteria gets into it.
Well, I mean, it's
the womb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The wound.
Wait. Wait, can you say that again? Because I was like, wait, men don't have wombs. That's what threw me off.
Wound.
WOUND, the wound, like the scar from whatever they do.
Yeah, the scar, eventually a scar. I don't even know what that even looks like. I don't need to know. I'm good. No babies happening here.
No. Okay. We'll check back. Tamara said, I would definitely get an infidelity clause. What? Yeah, I would too. Yeah. Like the lawyer said, it's either now or later. And I feel like that was a good point. Like, either you figure it out now while you're on good terms, or you figure it out later when you're on bad terms.
I wonder what that infidelity clause would look like. Do I get a check if you cheat on me? I mean, it's all what you want to make it. Right.
It makes me want to ask Ashley, because that's her situation with the prenup, and then he's cheating and everything. And it looks like, in her situation with him, I don't know what they had exactly, but it looks like, it looks like a check. It looks like a check. So after the scene where they're, gathering the flowers and everything, that's when they, go together to the burn session. And Ashley says that Wendy should have made a special invitation to Giselle and Robyn, basically kissing up to them, inviting them to the burn session. Do y'all agree or disagree that Wendy should have gave them a special invitation?
Hell no. Didn't they give Wendy a shady invitation for their reasonably shady thing at Giselle's house, teardown cabin?
Not just kidding. Giselle said that was actually the producer's idea to do that that whole reasonably shady thing outside.
Really? They played her.
Yeah, I love it. That was one of the best episodes. Remember Candace coming in like she was in like a horror movie?
Yep.
I love that episode.
Fascinated, Karen.
Now this, Wendy.
But yeah, so they go to the burn session, and basically, someone invited me to something like this virtually not too long ago. I know this is crazy, but my yoga teacher did something like this, and she wanted people to come tell her anything about her that she could work on. Like anything about her personality, anything about her teaching style, like anything about her that needed improvement. And I did not attend because I was like,
no, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come insult you. You know what I mean? Like,
because if you have an issue with her, you're just not going to work with her anymore.
Right. And I didn't, she's fine. Like, I don't know what anyone could want from her other than to teach yoga. But yeah, it reminded me of that. And I'm still not comfortable with the idea of doing a burn session. So what did y'all think about that in general, that idea of doing a burn session? Somebody called it a lemon squeeze. That's what they called on Married to Medicine when they had that a few seasons ago. Yeah. Is it helpful?
I mean, I guess if a therapist is doing it, it could be helpful because at least you have someone that's a professional that can sort of guide the conversation, not individually, because as you can see, it can go left really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt like the bandits came in amped to just stir things up and stuff. So it just didn't feel, I don't know. It felt like on the one hand, some people were dishonest, like maybe Ashley when she was claiming that they're on a good page and stuff. I just don't feel that. And then I think Campire, you mentioned this earlier about Candace claiming that they were really good friends and stuff, like on that half. And then Robyn and Giselle just came amped, looking to stir up trouble and cause a fight. So it just, I don't know. It wasn't balanced.
Yeah, definitely not. Tamara said, this cast, thank you for the super chat. You said, this cast is not giving me what Real Housewives was supposed to give, glitz and glamour, just giving me tearing down marriages and relationships. That's true.
And being broke. Yes.
Ooh.
Come on now.
Not the cash register. Are you guys? And then Trent King said, thank you for the super chat, Trent. He said, Wendy, like Monique, is socially awkward and struggles to fit in with the cast of Mean Women. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
They don't fit in with Giselle and Robyn because they're not similar. Ashley is similar to them. And Karen handles them.
Speaking of Monique, have you guys seen her tweets? Like, she has really gone off the deep end. Like, did you guys see her tweets the other day, you guys?
No,
She was basically saying that, like, there's like this big conspiracy theory against like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, and that like you're sheeple if you don't like see what's really going on behind the scenes. Like, she's really gone off the deep end. Like, I can't believe I supported her. I'm like, oh my God, she really is lost. Yes, you guys. Like, she seems like QAnon, like into that like conspiracy theory stuff. Like, it's scary almost. Yeah.
Oh my God. I need to go to Twitter and go.
It's bad.
I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised because even with the whole pandemic, she made some statements about her oils and stuff that were kind of like off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not curing anything, girl. Like, but I do in general, I do support Monique, but I don't support, that type of rhetoric. I don't support it.
Oh, Monique, you're going out sad, girl. Going out sad.
But she said she ain't going out. She's still on reality TV. She's not going out. Yeah.
What's that face for? You know something we don't?
The reality TV, her second stint to reality TV was not a good one. It was not. For me, it made people look at her even worse than when she was on Real Housewives of Potomac. It didn't help her. And I don't think this new season will help her either.
Is it true that did Carlos really set her up to ruin her marriage or something? I heard that like people are like, Monique, don't trust that man. He really tried to make you guys look bad. Your marriage looked crazy. Is that true?
Well, Carlos is many things, but people have been talking about Monique and Chris for a long time. So look, Carlos is many things. Carlos, have you addressed the Candy situation? But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think that's really just Monique and Chris.
Oof. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's just showing their real marriage. And if you take like a microscope to anybody's marriage, it's going to look weird on reality TV. So I don't.
You have no sort of control over what is portrayed. Because she talked about that too. She talked about how editing, for Love and Marriage DC made her look differently. And I was like, girl, what about when you're on Potomac?
Yeah.
I love her on Potomac. I'm so embarrassed.
I feel like she embodied the show. Like, it's supposed to be a rich housewife, and she was a rich housewife. So, she embodies it. But I hate what Giselle did to her on the show. And I feel like we're seeing it again, even the way they're ganging up to attack Chris this season. Like, we're seeing it all play out again. And I hate to see it. But what do y'all think about the confrontation when we're at the burn session? Ashley, she said she didn't know this when she was at Candace's house, but she said in the time that has passed since she went to Candace's house, her friend told her that Candace's husband was very flirty with her at that spring fling, brunch or whatever. What did y'all think about her telling Candace that, like, in the group, not privately, but in the group?
It shows exactly what we already thought, that Ashley doesn't see Candace the same way that Candace sees Ashley in their friendship. Because she could have pulled Candace to the side, but she decided to bring it up in front of the group when she already knows that Candace is having issues specifically about her marriage with Giselle.
Mhm.
So I felt like if you really wanted to foster a relationship with Candace, you already knew that you were not going to be able to do that by doing this. So Ashley, she could not be my friend.
Me neither.
I don't think she's a friend to anyone. This person said Ashley is so messy. I love it. Another person said forehead is plotting. She is. She's plotting and she's scheming. Grace, what did you think about that moment?
It's just old Ashley. Like, she hid it really well, like with the pregnancies and the babies and stuff, but she's back to her original self. This is who she was season 1, season 2, and season 3, I think, and 4. And then she took some time off, but now she's back.
She's been messy the entire time.
Right, the entire time.
She's just waiting.
She's
mean. She's like Giselle. I feel like Ashley and Giselle are two very particular types of people. They're people who are almost like, is that a sadist? Like people who take pleasure in causing people pain. Like I think that they really and genuinely enjoy that. And so it didn't surprise me at all. Like that's why, again, it's like, Candace, why did you not lean into your friendship with Karen? Like you would have had so much, you know what I mean, backup and stuff, or into her friendship with Wendy. She really would have been in a better place if she was not chasing after Giselle and Ashley.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like she chases after them to be, like center herself on the show. But I agree, those are not friendships. And I don't know if Ashley has the capability to be friends with people, because to me she just seems like such a snake, and she seems like the type of person, because her marriage is ending, she wants to throw salt into Candace's marriage, like how she was like the pendulum swings both ways, it doesn't feel so good, huh? Like
that
to me
crazy.
But now that we have this other information, how do we feel about Chris in this situation?
I feel the same, because I don't feel like we have anything new.
Okay.
I don't feel like
we have anything new. I had to say though, when she brought it up, I mean, because all the other instances, I'm like, okay, whatever. It doesn't seem it has any validity. But when she brought up this other person, I was just like, really? I need to know more, Ashley, in regards to what the friend thought and said, or what did Chris say to the friend for her to think that he was being flirtatious. Some people are naturally flirtatious and they don't mean anything by it.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too, with him working in hospitality. That maybe that's just, how he talks to people.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of her friend? Is she just looking for camera time? Because when they showed the flashback to who it was, the girl who would come to the house and stuff like that, I was like, is this the type of girl who would like be willing to lie for camera time? I don't know. Is she like a Mia? I feel like that was kind of the question I had. I just don't see it. I don't see Chris going after her at a bar. I don't.
With cameras rolling.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to me. I don't believe anything Ashley says. Like anything she says, I would have to fact check it.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like I can make a whole website fact checking. Yeah, and Mia too, what Ashley and Mia say. But I feel like Ashley has a certain vindictiveness to her that I don't know that Mia has. I would have to, see her more.
You might be right, because people like to separate husband and wives and say, oh, this person's so great. I don't know why you're with them. No, you're with them because of something. There is some sort of a connection.
Yes. John Legend, Chrissy Teigen.
That's
a good example.
Oh, John Legend.
I'm
it's
sorry,
something there.
Damn.
There's something there. And I feel like, they didn't get into it, but when Ashley came to Candace's home and Candace was saying basically she's excited to see Ashley get divorced, that's kind of insulting for somebody to tell you they're excited to see you get divorced.
Yeah.
And then Ashley was saying how she thinks that he's already dating, that Mike is already dating. And Candace was like, yeah, girl, I think he's been dating. I feel like
something.
Yeah, I think she offended Ashley in that moment. Even though they didn't show it on camera, I feel like that was offensive to tell someone, I think your husband been dating. Even though it's probably true, I felt like it was offensive. And I feel like that's
the father of her children.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. I think you guys are right. Yeah.
You guys notice when, or if you guys remember the season where the whole butt grab thing happened, do you guys remember how Ashley was so adamant about having a baby with Michael Darby at that time? Was that not weird?
Everything he does with Michael is weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And I know a lot of people say, oh, she's in it for the money. She wanted to have the baby to secure that. I don't know. I think there's some genuine connection there, but it's still like, What?
Mhm.
Well, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me, but it makes sense to her. Now she's forever connected.
Mhm.
I feel like we see Candace, putting a pause on her IVF because she feels like it's not a good time to do it while they're filming. Like she has extra stress on her. And I can respect that and understand that. But then when they show, the marathons and they show the previous seasons with Ashley being so adamant about getting pregnant during that same season when Michael Darby had that issue, that legal issue, it just made me feel more like Ashley is really a snake. Like she knew this marriage was not going to last, especially with him assaulting people. So she was like, let me hurry up and get a baby out of it. And I just feel like, you play yourself. Like when you try to play other people, even if it is Michael Darby, even if it is a predator, you play yourself when you try to play other people.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think she's playing herself at this point. Because even with the prenup, when she was on Watch What Happens Live, she's like, oh, there was more to the prenups, certain parts of it that I didn't understand. So I don't think she's getting half like she initially thought.
No.
Mhm. And
No
she was so
way.
excited. She used to be
No
on
way.
TV bragging about all the houses and all the stuff she was going to get. Now she's coming back with her tail between her legs. She's not as smart as I thought she was. I did think she was
Yeah.
smart, and I did think that she could hold her own against him, but this season has proven that she's not that smart.
Yeah, she's not that smart. And with him, he's like a real estate mogul and she's not there. You know what I mean? She's not where she thought she was. And she played herself, if you ask me.
Mhm.
But we do this every week, you guys. Oh, you know what? I forgot to ask you guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this episode?
Good question. Maybe a 7, because there was a lot of action for sure. The storyline did keep moving more so than last week, but I didn't like the way I felt at the end of it. I felt really badly for Chris. I felt like I was listening to people lying and trying to gang up on an innocent man.
Yeah.
I
What about
prefer-
you, Empire?
7 was the first number that came to mind, but then I was like, I think the end of it really made me become like, oh wait, now it's starting to become like, what's going on here? And
Mhm.
the continuation, I don't know if you guys got to see the preview for next week where Candace and Giselle actually have a sit-down conversation about everything, and that doesn't turn out well.
Yeah. I would give it an 8 only because I like seeing Robyn in her feelings and walk away. Normally she's in her feelings and she gets in somebody's face. You know what I mean? And I hate that.
That part where she was saying that, she FaceTimes Charisse to co-sign that. Oh, did you have to touch me to stop me from being? And then the whole conversation about her not being aggressive like that. And I'm like,
You're very aggressive. Yeah. They were gaslighting Wendy because clearly Charisse had to hold Robyn back. I don't think it was from fighting her, but Robyn wanted to get in her face like she does the other ladies. Like she did it to Ashley. She did it to Monique. That's when Monique had the umbrella. And she wanted to do it to Wendy. And Charisse stopped her. But then Charisse, I guess, miraculously forgot that she had to stop her.
No, Charisse is only here for one reason, and that is to be the lapdog for Robyn.
Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Bombast 718. Thank you for the super chat. I definitely appreciate it. I can't think of a worse place to be than to be the lapdog for Robyn Dixon.
Exactly. A lapdog of a lapdog.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's when we solidified it. That moment when she said, oh, and I know she's responded in like the comment section of the Peace Report, but no comment beats receipts. You know what I mean? We saw you literally first your hand, and then you literally had to stand up. So come on, Charisse. What you could have said is like, no, I don't recall that.
Yeah.
And I could kind of be like, all right. No, you were like, no.
Yeah. She just wants to be back on the show. She's lying to be back on the show. Shout out to Light Mission. Light Mission 23 say replay crew here. Love all 3 of you. Thank you. We appreciate it. We do this every week. Next week, I believe, will be Campfire.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's a rotating panel. We do it every week. And I want to say thank you for joining me on my channel, Grace Report and Campfire. Are friends to the channel. They're friends to Layla Lynn Media. And what do you guys, we'll start with you, Grace. What do you guys have coming up this week on your channels?
Oh my God, Love is Blind. We're dropping the final stuff, the altar and everything. So I'm really excited to see what's going on over there. So I think I'm doubling down on Love is Blind this week. I've got so many. I like to do like little character videos on each person individually. So I do have to do Zainab. I do have to do Colleen and a bunch of the other ladies. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
I think I discovered your channel from Netflix, from Indian Matchmaking on Netflix.
Ooh,
I love that show.
Yeah.
I loved Indian Matchmaker.
Yeah, it's really
Did a
good.
new season come out?
Apparently, and I actually was just gonna say that the season apparently came out in August. I'm like, damn it, I didn't hear anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I missed. I'm gonna have to catch up. I can binge that this weekend.
Mhm.
August? Where the hell were we?
I know. There was like no promo on it, and it was such a good
Yeah.
show. It really is.
Really, really good
I'm gonna
show.
catch up.
Mhm.
So what do you
Speaking
have going on this week, Empire?
All kinds of recaps and pop culture news. My podcast, I have a podcast as well, so I have a new episode of that coming out this week, and I got to get caught up on Love Is Blind, and I got to get caught up on was it Dubai Bling. I want to we'll get into that, and then I want to see this Indian Matchmaker season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you, Tracy. Chappelle said, I was told outing people are wrong no matter who it is. Is Candace wrong in the preview? Who did she out in the preview?
I can't recall. Tracy, remind us.
I don't remember
I
who
don't
she
remember.
out.
No. And by the way, Layla, PS4L. Oh wait, no, SCP says, did Layla give the tea about Wendy sending her a cease and desist? You promised that this week.
AQSD.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me open my email real quick.
Okay, and Grace and I will talk about
Yeah.
because there were other elements at the end that we really didn't dig into, and that was the beef between Robyn and Wendy, and how the entire table sort of like weighed in on Wendy. I don't know why Wendy would even want to do this, because I was just like, this is not Wendy right now. They were already talking about you. Now they want to do it to your face.
I know. I kind of feel like Wendy, and this is what makes me feel sad for her, is that the other girls can have beef with each other. They do something like that and they move forward and they wipe the slate clean. And Wendy probably thought that if she opened herself up to that, it would happen. But Giselle and Robyn are so hell-bent on like being enemies with her. And I understand because she read them for filth, even though they started the fight. And so it's just not going anywhere, unfortunately. Like they want to get rid of her at this point, I think.
That's the word on the street. They're trying to push her out. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time these housewives have done something like that in this franchise. But I'll be honest with you. I liked Wendy her first season a little bit.
Yeah.
But as we go on, it's not connecting for me. I'm not like in love with Wendy or even like with Mia. I don't love Mia, but I think she's a good housewife. I just don't think that Dr. Wendy Asefo is a good housewife.
I think I can agree with it. I did not like her first season with the 4 degrees constantly. People like you call me Dr. Wendy, address me correctly. And just jumping into the Monique stuff without really like knowing anything about the dynamics and stuff and the whole my black daughter and this. I didn't like her. But I am rooting for her against the Bandits. I am. Just because I don't like the Bandits at all. So I do want to see her triumph here.
Same here. I liked her first season. I feel like people like Ashley do call her doctor. If Ashley was to take a class at her university, she would be calling her Dr. Wendy. So I like that reality check.
But she's not, so she doesn't have to.
It's the principle. I'm a doctor and you're not, is what Wendy was saying.
And we're on the same show at the end of the day.
Ooh.
Right. That's what it all comes down to. That is true. Trent said she called out Miko's make love
Michael.
Mike.
I missed that part.
I didn't realize that. But I don't think that would be considered outing because Michael has grabbed booties twice at least on the show, and each time it was a man. And then when the girls in season 1 or 2 went to the gay club in a different city, they coincidentally bumped into him there. So is it really surprising? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of been an open something there on the show for a while now, right?
Yeah, they've had threesomes, so I wonder if those threesomes ever featured a man.
Exactly. And that I would, fellatio Juan or whatever, like there have been signs. This is not like a shocking thing.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
I couldn't find the right word to censor. I'm sorry. Yeah. I feel like we know that Michael has a little something for men. He might not be gay, but he might be bi, he might be pan, he might be whatever.
I think they're both bi. Thank you, Bombast, for the super chat. Someone asked me to share the cease and desist that I got from Wendy Osefo. Now, this was back on Wendy's first season when people were wondering why Eddie's family doesn't like her, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna read all of this. I was trying to get something to drink because it's a lot.
Was it from Eddie?
Because he's a lawyer.
That's what I wanted to know.
Who is this from?
She said no.
Dina Marie White at DinaWhitePR.com. Lord, don't tell me a PR agent sent me a cease and desist.
Not even a lawyer.
Oh, I'm mad now. I didn't notice that. No, it's from a PR agent. I knew I was right to ignore this. It's not even from an attorney. Oh my God.
So funny.
And her husband's an attorney.
Come on now.
This is crazy. Oh no, it is. Okay, when I click on the attachment, it does say Edward C. Osefo, Esquire, and has his address in Baltimore. Miss Layla Lynn. Okay, good luck. You're hereby notified to cease and desist any and all further unlawful defamation, slander, and or libel relating to the incident or event which occurred on September 14, 2020. I guess that's when I published my article. This has to do with my website, not YouTube. It was laylalyn.com. So they have a link to my website, laylalyn.com. And this is a copy and paste. But basically it says, Dr. Osefo's upbringing and family heritage was attacked with vitriolic and baseless claims. Dr. Osefo, you know what? Now I don't want to call her doctor. I don't want to call her doctor. I feel like they should be saying Wendy. Wendy is a public figure, and facts surrounding her background are public knowledge and, most importantly, verifiable. You're hereby requested to immediately cease and desist the illegal defamation, slander, and or libel within 10 business days. Yeah, and they wanted me to sign it. And they say, and sign and return the written assurance below, which it would never happen.
Oh,
it would never happen. I've gotten so many cease and desists. I will never sign. Like, what do I look like? You know what I mean? I get into
where's my gavel? Hold on. Wait, where's my gavel? Oh, there we go.
Oh my God.
Well, explain to why you would. First of all, I don't know why you would sign a cease and desist. I've never seen that before. But why did you decide to be like, I'm not backing down? Because and please, Layla, I mean, this is your channel, but please link everyone to this article after the live so that they can see what exactly you covered. Because you're not that type of person. You're doing your research. So for you to get a cease and desist, I'm like,
yeah, I wasn't backing down because it wasn't my thought. Like, I had done a Twitter coverage, and when Wendy appeared on the show, Nigerian Twitter was wondering if she was from a certain cast. I can't remember the name of the cast. You remember what I'm talking about?
yes,
It was a certain cast.
I don't remember
they were outcasts from the Nigerian culture. Yeah, and a lot of people were saying that she's part of that, and so this is in response to me covering the tweets of Nigerian Twitter saying that she's part of that cast. So it wasn't for me to back down because it wasn't my thoughts. I was just covering what was trending.
Yeah.
They say, and I missed this. You are hereby requested to immediately cease and desist. Hold on. Failure to comply with the cease and desist request and or return the signed assurance within the stipulated time will leave me no further alternative. Oh my God, they about to get me. I didn't even read it. No further alternative but to pursue any and all available legal and equitable remedies available to protect Dr. Osefo's character and reputation. They say further, the website noted above should remove the post and issue an apology to Dr. Osefo. Now, imagine that. Imagine me issuing an apology for covering what's trending on social media.
That's
Imagine
funny.
Imagine that.
And you've been such a defender of Dr. Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo.
Yes. Yeah. And this says Mr. Edward C. Osefo, Esquire. I haven't read this in so long. I'll be talking about, oh, he's so handsome. He's my type of guy. You know what? I might have to take that back because I didn't realize this was from him. I barely read this.
He rides for his wife. Ooh. Ooh la la.
Yes. Ooh, I still kind of like that. Though. I do kind of like that. It is from Eddie. Okay, Eddie. Okay, Eddie.
Oh my God. Well, what happened to those rumors? Because I remember that website. I don't know if I could say the name, the one that originally came out with the rumors or whatever. What happened? Like, how do they, like, did they make it up? Is it real? Is it fake? Like, I know she denied being a part of the tribe. I don't know.
But my thing is the fact that they would send a cease and desist, it kind of gives light to those rumors as if they were true. And it's like,
yeah.
I was looking at one point. I feel like they did address it. I was trying to summarize the cease and desist. Let me look in the body of the email. But at one point, I feel like they said you can verify. Yeah, here it is. They gave me 4 bullet points. And Osu is the name of that cast. And they said Wendy's father is not Osu. Dr. Wendy Osefo is not of the Osu bloodline. And they say Eddie's sister, and they give her name. Both his sisters are extremely angry and vindictive people who have made it their mission to spread lies and false claims about Wendy and her family's heritage since Wendy married Eddie in 2011.
Wow.
So the origin was Eddie's sister saying that Wendy was Osu. Thank you, Tamara. She said Twitter is going down right now, girl. It's a mess. It's a mess. I might cover that situation.
Damn.
that is.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder because the whole highlight of the reason why you were even covering that was the fact, what was the real reason behind the family issues between Eddie and Wendy's family? We still never got to the bottom of that. We're still like, okay, they didn't want you to marry her. Why? She's a doctor. She's very educated. I mean, you need to check all the boxes. So when they came up with this particular story, people were like, okay, now it makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is Eddie writing this, saying that his sisters are extremely angry and vindictive people.
Why? What did Wendy do? That just makes it more mysterious.
Yeah.
I'm really curious now.
Yeah. It's deep. Anyway, you guys, thank you all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are friends of the channel. I appreciate anytime y'all come on. And thank you to all of us all of you guys who have commented or even, lurked and watched this live. Make sure you share it. And we'll be back next week on Kempire's channel.
Yep.
All right, you guys. Bye.
Bye.